teacher says that? Like, who says that to a student? Like, told you that some people just don't get it? Some people's brains are just not like the others and they just can't grasp concepts, aka you're stupid. Blonde women in science, right? Because they're stupid. I'm not gonna let this one white man ruin that for me, because I have the email receipt, sweetie. Hello you guys. Today is a ridiculously petty video. I said that like such a white girl just now. I was like, ridiculously petty video. No, but seriously, today I have some beef with someone. I'm wearing a shirt that says make yourself a priority because after this experience, yeah, I need to make myself a priority because I know no one else is gonna help me in this world. That was my takeaway from that. Okay, I had the professor from hell. The worst professor I've ever had in my life. And that's saying something. He literally told me that my brain just doesn't work that way and he couldn't help me with the material. You know, some people just don't get chemistry. Okay, we'll get into the whole tea right now. So make sure to subscribe and like, comment, and all that jazz, and let me know what you think. And please click the notification bell to be notified every time I post sisters. And my social media will be somewhere here if you'd like to follow. Come through. My Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, and literally everything is very, very girly, so come through. So I realized this video is really petty. I was considering not doing it because I was like, Jennifer, like, why? But then I realized I'm a YouTuber and I share my experiences with the world. So I'm like, all right. I included putting his Rate My Professor link down below. But do I want to ruin this whole man's career? I don't think I'm capable of ruining this man's career. But like, you know, we won't be that petty. Like, I'm not gonna actually bring his name into it. But just so you know, I have considered putting his Rate My Professor link down below. It's okay, this man has a child, so I'm not gonna like really ruin him. If you don't know, I'm a theater major and biology minor, but I take way more biology and science classes than needed for my minor because my backup plan is dental school, so I take so many prereqs of science classes. It's ridiculous. Chemistry isn't even in my minor, like I shouldn't even have to take it for bio, but for dental school I have to take it. My grades are, in theater classes, all A's. Except for intro to tech where I had to build stuff, so that was a B. But still better than half the class. So don't fight me, I know how to use a screwdriver. And really heavy machinery. Anyways, so I took all of physics, right? Physics 1, physics 2. I got an A in them. I love physics. Bio, took so many bio classes. So in some I got B pluses, some I got A's. Bio's a little bit harder for me than physics, but doable. Mostly A's though. In my science classes, mostly A's, and bio labs always A's. You don't, like, you know what I mean? Chem 1 struggled ridiculously hard. Like, I really struggled, but luckily I had a good professor that helped me out a lot of time. Like, I went to his office hours a lot, he helped me out. I ended up getting an A minus in the class for Chem 1, okay? So, not to toot my own horn because that was ridiculously hard for me and I was crying like every day.
That was a very pleasant surprise.
You know, everyone says Chem 2 is a lot harder than Chem 1, and I was like, yeah, I know, and I was struggling with Chem 1. So, I definitely was struggling with Chem 2. But, in all of the times in my science classes, I've always struggled, but I always end up getting help from professors and figuring shit out and doing well, because I'm not one of those people that's like naturally smart. Like, I really have to study. Like, I study way more than anyone else to like do adequately. As like some people study the day before a test, I study like a week and a half before the test and like every day consistently. Like I am not, like, I'm smart, but like it takes a lot for me to get A's, okay? But doable, clearly, from my college experience. I have a GPA of like 3.7. I have a 3.7 GPA. Because I've been going ham because, you know, for dental school you need good grades. Okay, yeah, you get it. So Chem 2, I get this professor. So he's this young hipster, like literally a hipster. And I took him for Chem Lab as well because I was like, might as well have the same teacher or whatever, because I
thought it would be the teacher.
First test, class GPA was a 50. He was like,
if you guys increase the GPA by next class, I'm gonna show like skateboarding videos of me.
Okay, like literally, like what? Like no one wants to see that. Like I don't care. Can you figure out why the way you're teaching isn't working and do something about it. Like, why do you think everyone else is failing? Like I get it, it is Chem 2, so obviously a majority of people should be doing bad. And don't get me wrong, like the tests are curved a little bit, but still, like majority of people were not getting B's. Like majority of people were in D's. Our class was below all the other sections in terms of like class grade point average. So maybe in that case you should think,
maybe it's me.
Literally like wanting to improve the GPA by promising to show skateboarding videos of him when he was younger. GPA did not go up and he was always postponing his skateboarding videos. He's like, I'll just show you skateboarding videos when you improve your GPA on the next test. And there were many times, like if I do bad on one test, I go to my professor and ask and talk about it and stuff. And I would go to him and he just like wouldn't comprehend what I'm saying. Like you know, people think differently and people memorize things differently and people understand concepts differently. And he had his own way of thinking and he couldn't see how I thought of the material and like how I was absorbing the knowledge. He like didn't, which is evident of a bad teacher, right? Because teachers like learn different ways to show kids the material. So one time I was in his office and we were talking about the material and we were trying to figure it out together. Basically, he was trying to help me and I was like trying to explain a concept and he was trying to explain it to me, but I couldn't like fully get it. So I kept asking questions to like, you know, try to like get the material, and he literally just like stopped helping me after 2-3 tries and was just like, you know, some people just don't get chemistry, so some people just don't get chemistry. Me? That's what you're gonna say to a student? To me? That I just don't get chemistry? What teacher says that? Like, who says that to a student that wants to learn and is trying to learn and you're trying to help them, but at some point you just get frustrated and you're just like, some people just don't get chemistry. Also, in class, so we would do chemistry problems that involved math, and he would get a decimal point wrong or whatever. He would get like a sig fig wrong, whatever, and someone in class would raise their hand and be like, for example, oh, the answer isn't 2.3. I just calculated my calculator and it's 23. And he'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, math mistakes happen all the time, you know? Like, that's just the way it is. Like, that's why tests are bullshit. Math mistakes happen all the time. And then when I was in his office at a test, I did like a similar thing where I put 13 instead of like 1.3 on a test. And at his office, I was just like, oh my God, I literally did everything right. I just messed up mathematically. And he looked at me and he was just like,
you know, Jennifer, if that was in the chemistry lab, you could have blown us up. Like, that could have been the mistake that would have caused you death. So think wiser about that. That's why that matters.
And I was like, connecting the dots, like, didn't you say in class that it's not that big of a deal because you make those mistakes all the time? It really made me feel so bad. If this was in a science experiment, that calculation could have blown us all up. Damn. What? Okay, like, okay. Shit. All right.
You know, some people just don't get chemistry.
And you know what's so infuriating? That everyone loved him because he was just that teacher that like had jokes. It was cool. I'm cool. And it's like, okay, the professor has a million jokes. Great. Can I get an A? Can you teach me? Can you figure out what you're doing wrong in class and try to, you know, teach me something? Because clearly everyone here is failing. So why are you guys happy that he's like making jokes? For tests, a lot of professors do like review sessions right before tests, and they get either like, if they really don't want to do it or they don't want to like send out like a thing of like, you know, help for the test, they'll just like get a TA to do the review session, which is fine, you know, if your TA is knowledgeable. One time I went to a review session and the TA knew nothing. No one gave her any material to work off of. She came in, she was like, okay, so these are gonna be the topics on your test. She brought up topics that we didn't even touch in class. Oh, that's what the professors gave me. So what are you guys doing? And then we like brought up questions and she was like, yeah, I don't know how to do that. It's literally like they want you to fail. Like that's exactly how it feels. It's literally like they want you to fail. He made me feel so bad. This is like kind of stupid, but like all this is kind of stupid, but it made me feel really shitty about myself. I was in a meeting with him and he had another person in the meeting there to go over the test with me because I don't know, he couldn't give me individual time. He just had to group a couple people in together, whatever, fine. So when there were other people, he was just like,
guys, if you come to my office and like give me a topic that you have a problem with before the test, like I'll ask you questions about it, we'll go over all the concepts for the test, like I will help you in the office, like just come to me and then we'll have like this whole thing and just tell me about concepts and I'll ask you a bunch of questions on it, we'll nail all the concepts, whatever.
He was saying that to a group of people in his office. I was like, yay, like this is the help I need, like great. I tried to make an appointment with him 2 weeks in advance. He was like, oh yeah, can you like ask me like when it's sooner? And I was like, okay, fine, maybe 2 weeks in advance is a little crazy. I emailed him a week before I want the meeting and he was like, can you email me sooner? And this is weird because either way, like every teacher has specific office hours and this was a meeting in his office hours, so either way he has that time dedicated to his office hours, so there's nothing that's gonna change, you know what I mean? And then literally like I see him in lab like the day before I wanted the meeting and I went up to him in lab and I was like, hey, so about that meeting tomorrow? He was like, oh yeah, okay, you just email me tomorrow morning, yeah. And I was like,
do you not have a planner?
Like what is this nonsense? Anyways, so finally I have that meeting with him and I go over a couple questions, whatever. It takes him like an hour to go over one question. And I was finally like, okay, I'm confused about this concept. Can you like go over it with me and ask me questions about it, whatever? And like, you know, the concepts on the test. And he was like,
you want me to go over all the concepts on the test with you? You want me to ask you questions?
And I was like, I mean, if that's okay, you know, like I was just going off of what he said, like that meeting, but I got so nervous. I was like, I mean, if that's okay, like, he was like,
yeah, that's a little too much. If you have like one other question, you could ask me.
This man is a waste of space. At least in a classroom. This man is a waste of space in a classroom. Anyways, he just made me feel so bad about that. And he just, every time he spoke to me, he looked down at me. Probably because like, you know, I'm blonde. Like blonde women in science, right? Because they're stupid. That happens a lot. Like he would try to explain things to me and I was always so eager to like understand. I'm like, I don't think I'm that stupid. Like, I think he just didn't want to help me. Like he was helping me because it's his job, but he just ultimately didn't want to help me. Also, you want to know what was the final review before the chem final? He decided to show up. He spent 2 hours on 5 problems and then proceeded to show us videos of him skateboarding in the 90s. When he was a teenager. Literally, I kid you not, awful. Just so unprofessional. Literally does not give a shit. Like, does not give a shit at all. So many people deserve that job more than him. Like, literally so many people. And I'm not even on the worst part. You want to hear the worst part? Because I have the email receipts, sweetie. The email receipts, because he keeps ignoring me and ignoring my emails. Needless to say, this was the first class that I didn't do well in college. So I SU'd it, which means you do satisfactory or unsatisfactory, so it doesn't affect your GPA and doesn't, like, you know, show up. So I just have an S in it, but that means I need to retake the class. Definitely not retaking it in this school because I don't want him again. Literally, here are my emails. I will put screenshots up. This was May 16th after I got my letter grades because, again, for his lecture class for Chem 2, I did not get a good grade. I SU'd it. But for Chem Lab, I knew I was doing well. I had an A the whole time. I was like, whatever. I emailed him. I got a B+ in lab. Interesting. Here's my email. Hi, can you please explain the grading for Chem Lab 2 and why I got a B+ instead of an A-? On Blackboard, it says I have 76.4 points out of 84, which translates to 90.9, which is a 91. Best, Jennifer-Biana, sent May 16th. May 21st. Hi, Professor. Did you get my last email about my Chem Lab grade? Thank you, Jennifer-Biana. June 22nd. Hi, in regards to my last email about my chem lab grade, can you please let me know why I got a B+1 on Blackboard? My grade is a 90.1. I thought that would be an A-, as it says on the syllabus. Best, Jennifer-Biana. Still no response. It is June 28th. Usually during the semester he did respond all the time. Maybe because it's not during the semester he doesn't check his school email, but I doubt it considering there is like summer sessions. So listen, a B+ and an A-, they're only a couple points away, but there's a difference. For dental school, there is a huge difference. So, professor, I will be going to the dean of the chem department about this one grade because I deserve it. I'm making myself a priority and I'm gonna get the grade that I deserve because that's what I got from all the points I racked up in your chem lab. He's definitely not gonna see this video, but I am going to the head of the chemistry department starting fall semester, and yeah. This might seem really petty, this might seem really stupid, but this man made me feel really stupid the entire time, helped me, inadvertently ridiculed me, and just really ruined chemistry for me even more. Cried over this a couple of times. I know this is ridiculous, but when you're in college and grades mean your acceptance into a dental school or whatever you want to do later, it's really important. If you worked really hard to get a grade and they give you lower than a grade, even though the points rack up, you're gonna be pissed. I'm gonna go after what I deserve. And what I deserved is all the points that I racked up for Chem Lab 2. Couldn't do it for lecture. And even though I do believe that he was a really bad professor, I will take the L on that because, you know, it was hard for me. And I didn't get the concepts. Fair enough, I just didn't get the concepts. Maybe I would have if I had a better professor. Who knows? I'll retake that class. But Chem Lab 2, I deserve that A-. And he just made me feel stupid. He made me feel like I couldn't get the concepts. He made me feel like this wasn't for me. Like my life plan wasn't for me. Like dental school science just isn't for me because, you know, maybe it's him just only looking through stereotypes of like a little blonde girl in science because he's a white man. So, oh my god, he made me feel so stupid. I'm not gonna cry. Again, this sounds really stupid, but like if you were in my position and you saw the way he looked down at you and like told you that chemistry just isn't for you, some people just don't get it, some people's brains are just not like the others and they just can't grasp concepts, aka you're stupid. I'm never gonna forget that. So I'm not gonna let this one white man ruin that for me. It's funny because all the older white men that I've had as teachers were very respectful to me and were very kind to me in science classes, but this one white like hipster young man was the one that, like, out of all odds was the one that was really rude to me. So he was also just such a bro. Like he would just hang out with his students, like the bros. Like he would just like talk to them during class, like, you know, all those like guys that are in bands and house shows, and he would just like talk to them about music and like that's fine and all, but like during class, like, are you kidding me? Okay, anyways, that was that story. Just wanted to share with you, just wanted to rant, just wanted to complain and all that jazz. So yeah, don't worry, won't let it get to me. I mean, not anymore. But all right guys, thanks for watching this video. Bye.